If you just realize at the end of the day, basically these mower manufacturers are just piecing together parts from other manufacturers that make the components that go into making the mower. Yo, it's Ryan, and today we're going to be looking at maintenance on the zero-turn mower right here. So if you haven't watched the maintenance on the walk-behind mower, I'd recommend to watch it if you're just trying to get more familiar with everything, because I went into a little more detail on this video, and I don't really want all this, running over the same thing, just using a different type mower. All the principles are exactly the same, but things are in different places. Things are a little bigger on a zero turn. Obviously there's some different parts and stuff like that, so it's going to be slightly different. So I wanted to make a video for each, and I'll actually do a push mower too, because why not? So we have all of the replacement parts you could possibly need for any of this stuff. Doesn't matter your mower make, model, anything. Search by part number, search by make, model, however you want to search. The search is really awesome on the site, and if you didn't know, our goal is to get it to you cheaper than anybody else. So if you find a cheaper price on a legitimate website, please let me know, and I will correct that price for you and for everyone forever. And yeah, assuming I can beat that price. So some of these prices I'm just like looking at them like they're selling it for less than dealer cost. I don't understand. But let's get into the video. Okay, we'll start off same way we started off the walk behind video. We'll take a look at the controls. Primarily the controls are actually the same. You have your throttle, up and down, rabbit, turtle, whatever, tortoise, something. You got fuel gauges on this, so this is kind of nice. You got a fuel tank on this side and on this side, and they both have gauges. So that's the difference. You have two fuel tanks on zero turns most of the time. Still have the PTO, still have the choke. A lot of mowers these days are going to EFI, electronic firing ignition, or whatever that stands for. I don't know. But we actually had the electronic models before we got this one, and we almost prefer this one better, because every now and then we will run out of gas, and it just starts back up so much easier if you can just choke it and start it instead of dealing with that electronic choke stuff. Same deal. It's off right now, eyes on. You turn it all the way to start it, hour meter, and that's essentially the same. And then another difference is you can flip between your two fuel tanks right here. So when one fuel tank is showing empty, you flip the switch and keep it moving, and you're drawing fuel from the other tank. This has a seat belt, so you can secure yourself into the seat just like you could on in a car vehicle of any kind. So here are the controls. So instead of having the handheld in your hand controls up here, now you have these guys, which you're going to bring these in, and this is the safety on here. So when you're in here, this is like ready to go. Out here, this is actually the safety position. We have an e-brake right here, so you'll need your e-brake off to potentially start it. Some of them will start with the e-brake off, like the walk behind will. I don't believe this zero turn will. If you have this off, you have more control over your deck height on this mower, and it is actually a lot easier to raise up and down. On the one over there, you got to do the pins on the four corners of the deck, and there are some, like the other snapper model, the SW35. This is the SW25. The SW35 actually has a knob that you turn and raise and lower the deck, and you can go in any increment you want. But I didn't see the need, and the reason we actually didn't get SW35s is they would not fit in our U-Haul trucks. They're slightly bigger. But that's that. You just press on here, and you got this little thing right here. So you just move that, and then it's going to drop down to wherever you have the pin. So we have the pin set right at 3 1/4 on this one. So to raise it up to transport height, when you go over a curb or getting it on up your ramp and stuff like that, you always want it in transport height, so your deck's not scraping the bottom of everything. So similar, we have our pulleys and belts down here. Under here we have one knob for quick access. Billy has a little strap here to raise and lower his fabricated flap. So we did that again to save a couple $100 on a flap and accomplish the very same thing. We have grease fittings. So once again, have a grease fitting on this side. You can safely assume there's going to be one on that side, and there is. And there's going to be one in the middle also. So you're going to want to get in there and look for grease fittings, check your owner's manual, stuff like that. We have more scalp wheels on this. So again, those keep your deck from digging into the ground, and the blades cutting the grass down to the dirt. Same thing with, don't have the grease fitting right here, although these do need to be greased on a yearly basis. And yep, so just keep it moving. Obviously, blades down here, spindles, stuff like that. Much bigger tires. Here's the fuel tank from the side view, bigger fuel tanks. And then you come back and you have the engine set up slightly differently, like it is on most zero turns. You have your oil over here, you still have hydro filters, and you have a different style of air filter. So on this one, instead of having the foam pre-filter, you're gonna have a big outer paper filter, and then you're gonna have a smaller inner filter inside here. So we'll pull this in, boom, so there it is. So this is looking a lot better than the other one. We've had issues in the past with these things popping off, especially off turf tracers, and it just got really frustrating and kind of expensive to keep replacing them. So you know, you want this. If you don't have it, you're going to be getting a little more dirt and debris in there than you really want. But it is a pain when you have employees hitting tree branches and stuff like that with it all day long. On this, we have the ropes, the rollover bar protection stuff. I don't see too many guys using this. I honestly don't recommend to put yourself in a situation where you could possibly need that to save your butt. But you know, if for some reason you are mowing with a zero turn on a steep hill, have those up, have your seatbelt on, could save your life, stuff like that. So important. We got fuel filter again. We're looking like we're doing much better on the hydro oil in the reservoirs on this mower. And yeah, so that's it. We have a big presidential seat on this mower. This is one thing I would possibly consider paying a little extra money for. We actually got this for free because the dealer sent this mower with this seat on accident, or the manufacturer, Snapper Pro, sent the dealer we bought this to with this seat. So we actually didn't get charged for this seat. This is like an $800 upgrade. This is a presidential seat. It is like riding on a cloud. But if you mow large properties and you are sitting on this seat and your tailbone is just bop, bop, bop down there, it's really uncomfortable. So this just takes a lot of the bumps. You can't even feel them, and it's really, really slick. So yeah, I'm not gonna pop up open under here. I mean, it's pulleys and belts. It's very standard stuff. Check your owner's manual, like always. Learn all that kind of stuff. I highly recommend blowing off your equipment after each use. And this is one thing my guys would not do. Look how easy this is. Literally nothing to do but just pull it up, and then you have access to blow all of the grass out. You have access to the decks and pulleys. You know, with an air blower, you're not really going to reach your hands down in there necessarily, although you could if you needed to. These little fans, I believe these are a cooling mechanism of some kind. Would only make sense. But grass just builds up in the center of these like nobody's business, and I always wanted to get that out. It just seemed like that grass has to be creating friction, adding a little bit of weight, stuff like that, putting more stress on things that probably don't really do well with a lot of stress. So I would always try to blow those out with just with a backpack blower, handheld blower. You just hold it on there for a second, all of that will come out, and then just get all the clippings out as they blow around and get on everything else, and then, you know, blow them off into the grass. Like I've seen my guys blow the equipment off after mowing the lawn and then leave the grass wherever they did it, and I'm just like, no, that's not how we do that, guys. But that's it. If you're thinking about getting one of these, I mean, they're just freaking awesome machines. I don't care what brand it is. do a little bit of research. I highly recommend going with a dealer near you in case you do need them, especially if you're not mechanically inclined. But this is a really, really nice mower right here, guys. Like, if you're looking for a 61 inch zero turn, consider taking a look at Snapper Pro, because you will be shocked at how much cheaper this mower is compared to a Exmark Laser Z with exactly the same features. Like, pound for pound, the mower's the same. This is probably going to be $3,000 less, like quite literally, maybe even more than that. So Snapper Pro is a good brand. It is super legit. They've been around forever. They're owned by Briggs & Stratton, even though this has a Kawasaki engine on it, which is always funny. I actually prefer Kawasaki engines. I honestly believe Kohler's a great engine also, and it's hard to argue that Briggs & Stratton doesn't know what they're doing when they're making a mower. There's some other ones. I've seen a handful of mowers with Yamaha engines. Wisconsin Robin, I think those haven't been on mowers for a while now, but you'll see those on some slice seeders and different stuff like that. There's lots of different good engine manufacturers. If you just realize at the end of the day, basically these mower manufacturers are just piecing together parts from other manufacturers that make the components that go into making the mower. So at the end of the day, they really do have the same parts. Something that could separate a mower from another mower is the gauge of the steel it's built with. So this is built with really nice thick steel right there. Look at that. That's probably 1/4 of an inch, if not more. So nice thick steel. I really like the way the deck's cut on these. And yeah, we're very happy with these mowers. I think you would be too. But basically just wanted to get you a basic rundown of the components of a zero turn, where to look for stuff, things to note, stuff like that. So I hope you liked it. And if you did like it, please remember to like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And until the next video, keep making money. I almost forgot, guys. Something crucially super important when doing mower maintenance and stuff like that. And it should be done more often than this typical mower maintenance. Check your oil level. Like, it is so quick and easy to do, and it can save you so much money if you notice that your oil for some reason is just gone or whatever. It's not even on the dipstick before you go out that morning. It's a 5-10 second check. I'd highly recommend to work that into your pre-morning routine. And just so you know, we now have the iGoPro website, iGoPro lawnsupply.com, and we have literally every piece of maintenance, repair, tune-up type stuff you could need for a mower like this, any brand essentially. So if you do need it, I'd highly recommend to check out the iGoPro lawnsupply.com website, because my whole goal here is I've formed a relationship with dealers, and I'm trying to pass along my dealer savings to the end user, you guys who do not have the ability to purchase from my vendors. If you do not have a resale license and you're not set up as a dealer, then they will not do business with you. So what I do is, I started off with Nove, and now I have several other of these lined up, and I talk to people like on a daily basis that want me to start selling their products, and some I say no, some I say yes, stuff like that. I gotta believe in what I sell, but we sell very quality. Most of it's made in the USA, replacement parts that I'm just trying to get them to you cheaper. So that's just a little FYI.